Welcome along, my name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw and make this fun little Homer Simpson puppet out of a single sheet of paper. Now, on this channel I design, create and show you how to make paper-based working replicas of beloved Muppets, puppets, characters and creatures. Now, they can be pretty complex to make, so in this series I'm keeping it simple and I'm going to show you how you can bring to life your favourite characters and creatures using a single sheet of paper. Now, the basis for creating all of the paper puppets in this series is my printable folding template kit, which you can grab for a small one-off payment from my online store and then use again and again and again to create your own collection of paper puppets. So let's get into it. This is how to make a Homer Simpson puppet out of a single sheet of paper. I'm starting by cutting the template sheet of paper in half. We're going to retain the other half for his body, but for now we're going to focus on his head. And we're just going to trim the sides down in order to get it ready to go. First, I'm going to add this little diagonal grid to the template, and if you do the same, it'll make drawing your own version much easier. It's a really helpful visual guide to help getting the proportions correct. We start with his nose, a circle of just under 2 centimeters in diameter, with its center sitting just above the center of the diagonal cross. 2 more large circles become the eyes, each about 3 centimeters in diameter. They start against the nose and crest the top and side edges of the little grid. Halfway across those, we place the pupils. Starting on the edge of the nose, parallel to the diagonal cross point, we draw a simple curved line down to the central fold line on each side to create his stubble. Here are the top curls of his mouth, and then the mouth itself, a curved line between the 2 curls that dips just beneath the fold line. Then we're going to mark his hair and ears on either side. I actually made the ears a little too small here, but again, because we're using a pencil, we can adjust this when we come to ink these lines in with a black biro pen. Next we'll add the teeth. Whilst doing that, I just want to clarify the aim of these tutorials. I want to help you get results you'll be happy with even if you've never drawn a thing in your life. And for me, that's all about giving you the tools to get the proportions right. And the key part of that is to use the template folding lines and the grid that we've drawn on the page as reference points to help you add pencil lines in the same place that I'm adding mine. The last little bit of the mouth is the tongue, and as with most of the rest of the face, it's achieved with a few simple curved lines. Here I wasn't quite happy with the shape, but again, because it's pencil, we can erase and redo. Plus, even if I hadn't adjusted here, I can make any final adjustments as we ink in the lines with a black biro pen. And you can see here I'm able to clean up some of the lines and make final adjustments as we add the pen marks over the top of the pencil marks. Then we erase the pencil work, ready to colour him in. Using alcohol markers, I'm adding black, red, a kind of olive colour, and then the classic yellow of his face. And I'll share the specific colours I used in the description of this video. Now we're going to fold the face to make it into a 3D shape. When you buy the template kit, you'll have access to videos showing you a step-by-step detail of exactly how to fold them, so I won't explain everything in detail here, but you hopefully get a sense here of how to fold this particular template. Here we're bending these diagonal edges of the paper to act as hooks for the middle and index fingers. Then our thumbs slot into the bottom jaw section, and this is what allows the mouth to open and close. There are 3 different folding options for the top of the head shape within my template kit. The one I'm using here gives the most rounded puppet head shape. In order to hold the shape, this corner that we've created folds over and locks in behind itself like this. It can be a bit tricky to slot in, but it will hold in place nicely once it's been slotted into the available little gap. We're going to fold the corners over again and then fold over the sides a little bit. The folds are about 1 centimetre in from the edge. It doesn't have to be exact, but I found that these folds give the head a shaping and proportion closer to Homer's look within the context of what's possible. Then we're on to drawing the body with the other half of the sheet of paper. We're going to create a grid that's 11.5 centimetres across by 19 centimetres down, with 2 diagonal lines from the corners intersecting in the centre. We start with 2 round circles at either edge of the rectangle, parallel to the centre point, around 2.5 centimetres in diameter each. Then a much bigger circle starting around a centimetre underneath the central crossing point, about 8 centimetres in diameter. And then another circle the same size directly below it, not quite reaching the lower edge of the frame. Starting halfway down the bottom triangle, we draw lines to the bottom 2 corners, then a straight line down the centre of the bottom circle, then starting at the internal sides of the smaller circles, 2 more vertical lines down to create the edges of his legs. Here we're creating the top of the trousers. Just above that, we've got the sleeves and the arms going down. The idea here is to break our sketch down into lots of simple curves, lines or geometric shapes. So adding each element within the context of the grid is a simple process, but by adding each piece, we eventually but inevitably build up to the more complex whole. For the collar, we're drawing another little M shape. We're going to measure 3.2 centimetres across here, which will be the width of the neck, because this is the point at which the body attaches to the head, and that's the width of the bottom of the chin. These lines here will be the neck, and then we're going to finish up with the shoulders. Still time to make a few adjustments. Again, we're working in pencil here, so any adjustments you make can be erased or just altered, and you don't need to be too precious. For the feet, I'm using the diagonal lines we created earlier as a guide for where the point of his shoes are. For the hands, he has thick fingers. Again, each of these is just a short curved line. If you break the drawing down in this way, you don't need to be a great artist. Literally anyone can do it. This top little bit is for his hair. He's got 2 strands at the top of his head, as you may recall, and exactly what this is will look a bit clearer once I've cut it all out. Now we're inking in the body, erasing the pencil lines and colouring it in this case yellow for the skin, blue for the trousers, and grey for the shoes. We cut it out, take the hair section. We're just going to glue that tab in now. You might want to colour the hair strands completely black, not leaving any white edges as I've done here, but you get the idea. Then we glue the neck onto the bottom of the head section. You'll notice I've cut slightly down into the collar on the body so that it sits in snugly. Apply the glue and hold it there for a couple of minutes to let it bond. Then we can refold it. Slide your fingers in, and that is a Homer Simpson puppet made out of a single sheet of paper.